Hermes, eternal messenger, guardian of the invisible door, we invoke thee. Hermes, bearer of the secret flame, the true light of mind, we invoke thee. Hermes, patron of scribes, dispeller of ignorance, we invoke thee. Make open the revelations in the eternal book, arouse the serpents within us, exalt the winged globe of the spirit, awaken the sleeping children of earth, and raise them to the stars.
We had thought about the Mind of Hermes, which is that teachable course that Mark calls the supreme teaching, which is the idea of the non-dual teaching. Jesus saying, I and my Father are one, is kind of an expression of that. And the thing that's interesting about the Liturgy of Hermes is it leads you to that realization. At the end of the liturgy, or at the end of the ritual, at the end of the process, you're meditating in silence and in union with the divine, right? That's at least that's what the is designed to lead you to.
One of the virtues of the Liturgy of Hermes is it's very flexible. I think you take this ritual and you give it to 20 different practitioners from 20 different traditions, and they will bring a variety of approaches to it. So there's elements of devotional mysticism, as you said. There's body-centered practices in it. There's obviously alchemical symbolism. There's all these things. And one of the maps that I like to bring to it is Plotinus. So he used a very different map, if you will. Like in Western esotericism, generally, we have, like the Kabbalistic tree of life, we have this fall and redemption. We come from unity into duality. We go from spirit to matter, all of these things. But Plotinus's idea is, in some sense, that we never really went anywhere. We have just forgotten.
Imagine a brilliant ray of white light emanating from the brow of the image, entering into your brow, filling your body with light and even radiating beyond. This white light purifies you of all physical impurities, which vanish instantly upon being touched by it. Your body is light, luminous, and like crystal in clarity.
At first, you might have to start with a lot of active imagination. But at some point, you've got to just let go. Instead of imagining, say, or visualizing, putting all the emphasis on visualizing Hermes, visualizing psychic centers, we treat them as if they are already perfect and pre-existent. We just need to get out of our own way to listen to Hermes and to observe these centers, right? We just keep ourselves open. We don't try to force anything to happen. And then slowly we recognize or we remember that part of ourselves that is Hermes. So it's a different map, but it's the same territory, right?
It's really interesting what you're saying. So there's some sort of it's not necessarily a contradiction, but there's some sort of spectrum between being active and being less active. Maybe not passive, but relaxed, or right, deeper levels of relaxation. So there's some. I think Marx sometimes used the metaphor of a guitar string being properly tuned. Right, there's some level of tension, but also relaxation. It's what you're saying is really interesting. At the end of the liturgy, there's that opportunity where I think you have no choice but to be more and more relaxed, and the more deeply you can relax, because you've declared at the end that there's only one, right? You've declared that we're united with the God. There is only one. So at that point, there is nothing to do but relax and see what happens, right?
Another way of thinking about it is if you look at remote viewing, a lot of remote viewing protocols have people babble or just write down and draw, like not to censor anything. The idea is to stop censoring yourself and just to go forward, and because the idea is that you are always receiving psychic input. It's not something that you need to make. Listen to that still small voice. Plotinus talks about this. He talks about learning to listen in or to focus in. So if you imagine you're listening to a choir, right? And you want to hear just one voice in that choir, right? You don't hear them until you really can listen in to that one voice. You are hearing individual voices, but in our confusion, we just hear it as a mob, right? So that's kind of the same model.
It is like a deeper level of relaxation, right? And the thing about relaxing more deeply is that you have to, at least if you're in a meditative context or any kind of spiritual exercise, you're relaxing more deeply, but you still have to not fall asleep, right? So you're getting, there's a level of alertness there that has to be maintained as you get into a deeper kind of relaxation, so that you're more open, you're less censorious, right? You're more open to that input, but you have to still be aware. You have to maintain that awareness.
I think that's why I lean so much into the devotional part of the mysticism, is the thing that keeps me awake, the thing that gives the tightness to that guitar string so it isn't too loose. Inspiration, that eros, right? That powerful personal emotional connection.
Thoth, I find him to be a compelling deity, an attractive deity. When I look at the image of him, it's not love isn't the first emotion that arises. There's even a thing, I think, in Crowley where he says he has a ritual Liber Astarte where it's a kind of devotional process. But he recommends not using Thoth because he's too intellectual, right? He says Thoth is too intellectual for a devotion. I've had that a very warm experience in the liturgy, but it is different than like a Mary or something. It's a different. He's a different nature, a different character.
It's a different nature, but I mean, eros, in the broad sense here, this thing that draws things together, is you could use it in the same way you say you have a passion for something, right? I don't take my barbells out on dates,
right?
But I'm passionate about throwing around iron, right? I wake up and I want to get it, you know?
Right.
It's a thing. That's Eros, right? The gifts of Hermes are very evocative to me. I think if people have a difficult time with devotional mysticism, focusing on gratitude allows you to really see and recognize the divinity. The process of gratitude is the process of recognition.
Right.
So if I am grateful for my food, I am really tasting it, right? If I'm grateful for my washing machine, I really see my washing machine and what it does for me in my life, right? I'm really recognizing it's real to me.
No, I think that's a great idea. The gratitude's a great way of developing that. Yeah.
So, what kind of gratitude do I have for my path and what it's done for me in my life? You know, that's a personal thing for me. It's interesting. I'm in the teacher certification program and I teach students, but I really am not. I'm not excited about being a teacher per se. My real passion is preserving the tradition that's given me so much. What is the Hermetic tradition? Like, where does that come from? Like, what is the embodiment of that tradition?
Do not be unaware of me, O God. Know me, for I know you. Do not be unaware of me, O God. Of me it is said, the transitory one. Do not be unaware of me, O Thoth. Know me, for I know you. You have your heart, O Thoth. You have your legs, O Thoth. You have your arms, O Thoth. So too my heart is my own. My legs are my own. My arms are my own. My heart is your heart, O Thoth. My legs are your legs, O Thoth. My arms are your arms, O Thoth. Your heart is my heart, O Thoth. Your legs are my legs, O Thoth. Your arms are my arms, O Thoth. We are one. You have said, Lord Hermes, you can even become a god if you want, for it is possible. Therefore want, and understand, and believe, and love. Then you have become it. Your speech is my speech, and my speech is your speech. We are one, O Lord Thoth. Your body is my body, and my body is your body. We are one, O Lord Thoth. Your mind is my mind, and my mind is your mind. We are one, O Lord Thoth. Gold is the flesh of the gods, and through you my body is the translucent, effulgent golden light of the sun, the Word made flesh, the mind, the very essence of the gods.